to weigh in. We welcome member for the Trump 2020 Advisory Board, Boris Epshteyn. Boris, thanks for joining us today. So it appears that they may be not siding with President Trump the last two rulings.
Well, there's definitely an issue with the Supreme Court, and thanks for having me, Allison and Bob. There's definitely an issue with the Supreme Court, and the key to that issue is John Roberts, the Chief Justice, a George W. Bush appointee who has sided with liberals time and time again, going back to the Obamacare issue, where he sided with liberals and kept Obamacare in place because he said it was somehow a tax, which is ludicrous. And then from then on, he went on and sided with liberals again on the census issue, when this President Trump, correctly wanted to ask Americans their citizenship status on the census, which has been done before, while Chief Justice Roberts disagreed. And here again, we have Chief Justice Roberts on these two issues siding with liberals. Here's the bottom line. John Roberts seems to be acting like a politician who simply doesn't like President Trump, so he's finding every way possible to rule against the president.
Boris, so would this be a good thing for the president, for his campaign? Because this could essentially be a positive, because he may be able to get folks on, more on the independent side.
Well, the positive is this. The positive is that we need to make it clear that Americans have to vote for President Trump to get more constitutionalist judges.
It's good.
Hello?
Okay. Yeah, keep going. Sorry about that.
The key here is that Americans have to vote for Donald Trump for 4 more years so we get more constitutionalist justices on the Supreme Court. It is obvious that the 5-4 majority is simply not enough. We need more justices who believe in the text of the Constitution, who believe in the rule of law, and that's the key in November.
I think I have audio now. I'm sorry. We were having some problems. That's what didn't mean to throw anything off there, Boris. Some might say that Judge Roberts actually is kind of an institutionalist, that he actually supported Obamacare, and I think we could both agree with some odd rationale that it was a tax, but kind of didn't want to get in the way of what Congress and the president had decided. And in this case, he actually said if you go back and redo this DACA order, it actually could get through.
Well, I disagree with that sort of thinking, and here's why. President Obama put DACA forward as an executive order. President Trump wants to cancel it as an executive order. So
no, it didn't pass. No, Obamacare had gone through. No, it was passed by Congress. I mean, it was only Democrats, but it passed Congress.
I said DACA, my friend.
I'm sorry?
I'm talking about DACA.
Oh, okay, DACA, go ahead. But what I was talking about is Chief Justice Roberts. Seems like he's supporting, if Congress passes something, he doesn't want to get in the way of it. And I got the impression he actually didn't want to get in the way of DACA, but wanted it done properly.
Yeah, but my position is this, and the position of somebody who studied the Constitution, I have a background as a constitutional attorney, is that President Obama put DACA forward as an executive order. President Trump wants to cancel DACA as an executive order. So in the eyes of the court, those should be equal. President Obama was no more president than President Trump is. So President Obama was able to put it forward, to put it in place. President Trump should be able to cancel it. And President Trump did say today that the Trump administration is going to go at it again and are going to listen to the court in some way and augment how they're going about canceling DACA. But nevertheless, here's the bigger issue. The court is supposed to be interpreting the Constitution. The court is supposed to be staying within its lane. It's not supposed to legislate, as it did in its earlier decision on employers and whether gender and sexual orientation are both in the Title VII definition. We all know it's just gender. It's men and women. That was in Title VII, but they expanded it to sexual orientation. The court should not be activist. The court should be interpreting the Constitution and ruling based on the Constitution.
All right, Boris, just because you know more about the Constitution, and that's why we have you here commenting. Thank you so much, Boris Epshteyn, talking about what's going on with DACA.